is a display of all the past winners. And so your name is on the plaque that will hang in the tower in recognition of your award.
Thank you so much.
We are delighted to honor you this way. Okay, is this in your way? I can move this.
Thank you so much, Carol. Thank you to both of you and for the committee. And I'm just really thrilled to be here, and I'm really honored to be here. So I appreciate all the hard work that everybody put into this, to Roger and everybody who wrote letters of support. You know, I'm really honored to be back in Jefferson, especially with the class of '84. So this is great, right? I'm grateful to be here with my wife, Audrey, who almost won. You almost won. And what you all don't know is we're campers, and when we camp, I never get to start the fire because she really loves fire. I do too, but more than me. So now maybe I'll get to start one, I don't know. And our daughter, Georgia, and her partner, Jake, and really happy that you guys are here, and our friends and colleagues. So it's really great to be here. But as you guys all know, getting an award means that you had a lot of people that you were fortunate enough to know and to help you along your way, because no one ever is able to achieve anything on their own. It takes a lot of people to do this. And so to me, this award exemplifies one thing: the amazing support of all the people in big and small ways who have encouraged me and paved the way for me, my class, and for students who came through Jefferson and in this county. So when I reflect on my life growing up in Jefferson and this award, I want to share just briefly 4 pillars that have been most meaningful to me. And of course, it's the people, and it's the connections and the support we received growing up here. So the first is family, and some of you don't know me, but for those of you who do, in addition to my immediate family, I'd like to share just a little bit about our parents. Our parents, the Kundrats, were both teachers, and as a teacher now, I take so much pride in the fact that they were both teachers. I think I got some of my passion for science from my dad, George, who was a junior high science teacher here in Jefferson. Some of you knew him. And though he passed away, it's hard to believe, in 1965, just before I was born, I always enjoyed hearing the many stories that some of you out there would tell me about my dad and his love for teaching, especially astronomy, his fervor for coaching and all things sports. And even though I didn't know him, I've always felt I'm a lot like him. And that's what I've been told anyway. And our mom, Mary, if you knew her, she, of course, was a force to be reckoned with. There weren't too many people like Mary Kundrat. For my brother Mike, my sister Janet, and myself, having our mom as our 9th grade English teacher was a unique experience. Mom was a true lover of the English language, as many of you recall. The best sentence diagrammer around, and that is not a word, so I am so sorry, Mom, but she was the best. And she shared her passion for Edgar Allan Poe, Shakespeare, Shirley Jackson, Walt Whitman, at school and at home. We often were reciting poetry. I can remember when I couldn't leave the house until I memorized all the thesaurus words that were in the Reader's Digest for that month. So she did it at home too, as well as at school, which was good. It was a good thing. But the most important thing she always told me that was whatever I decided to go into, it was really important to be able to communicate and to be able to share your knowledge, to be able to encourage people. No matter what I did, she just wanted to make sure I could communicate. That was what she would always say. We enjoyed a wonderful relationship talking about life over competitive games of ping pong. Some of you were in on those, cribbage, double solitaire, and Jeopardy. And in her later years, as my daughter will attest to, cash cab, right? She usually came out the winner, and I certainly got my competitive nature, my fervor for learning, and sense of adventure from my mom. And growing up as the youngest of 6 kids in a big fun family, I was the luckiest one, getting to see my siblings do great things and explore their worlds. And it was extra special to come after my sister Janet, who was coming here, and then she unfortunately is sick, so she can't be here, but she said to tell everybody how much she loved growing up in Jefferson too. And I admired her so much and followed in her footsteps as much as I could. I'm sorry she's not here to hear this. She taught me how to work harder than I thought I could, how to be good to people, and how to set goals. And as long as I watched what my sister Janet did, I was in great shape. And that continues to this day. My brother Mike taught me to shoot a ball, to play golf, and to enjoy life. And as young adults, I would fly out to LA often to see my brothers and their families, and Mike and I would keep our 10-in-1 packed, which we did year after year after year for many years, playing at least 10 sports in one day before we came home exhausted and happy, and we would do it. He would usually win, but my oldest siblings, Jeff and Marianne, were always doing exciting things, and we loved being around them whenever we could. Lastly, some of you knew my sister Patty. She probably taught me the most. She lived her life with an intellectual disability, but to feel how she loved us when we were in her presence was something that defied words. So that's pillar number 1. But the second pillar is, of course, school and the incredible teachers we had. And some of the things I remember in 2nd grade, Barb Gorman, who taught me and my 3 Musketeer friends, Sherry Ashcraft, who's here, Sherry, Teresa Welch and I, to stand up for ourselves. And when we refused to participate in PE because our long hair kept getting caught in the wheels of the scooters we had to lie on in scooter races, she organized a meeting with our principal, our PE teacher, Ms. Doty, and the 3 of us to find a solution. You remember that, Sherry? Our solution was, we don't need a PE teacher, we should teach class ourselves, which we did for a short while. Anyway, so I learned a lot from her. And of course, I loved going to Cooper School for 5th and 6th grade, mostly because we could run and run and run all recess in those fields, and we had the best principal, Mr. Anderson, who taught us to have fun exercising, to go you chicken fat go, as some of you might recall. I honed my ping pong skills significantly while at Cooper because I played ping pong at the lunch hour often with Tony, our janitor, and so enjoyed being on the dance team. It was a fabulous place to foster positive experiences around health and wellness, and I think that was probably where it started for me. Who can forget middle school, where we learned how to read poetry and manage ourselves from Ray Dillard? He taught us so much more than literature. My mom and Ray were dear friends, and our family made many trips to the Tetons as kids to meet up with Ray, and that's still my favorite place in the whole United States. In 7th grade, for last hour, our teachers decided we could configure our own learning experiences if there was something we were extra passionate about doing and learning. So 2 of my besties, Tracy Zamalik and Susan Timmerman, and I decided we wanted to learn, what else, but to disco dance. The problem was we needed a teacher to agree to show us the ropes. In comes Janet Adamson, who spent countless hours teaching us the hustle and Travolta's Night Fever line dance, 2 of our favorites. Thank you, Janet. Middle school also taught my friends and me to stand up for ourselves when in 7th grade we realized we were only learning history from the lens of the men's perspectives. Where were the women, we asked. When we didn't get a good answer, we formed WOTM, short for Women on the Move, and marched through the halls of the middle school with signs demanding more equitable learning, and we got it. This wasn't squelched, and we made our point. From my work, I know that middle school is an especially important time for girls to build confidence, feel good about themselves and their bodies, and find ways to stay active that are fun and empowering. Lucky for many of us, the amazing Roger Olhausen was our coach for basketball and track. I challenge anyone to find a more caring, supportive, civic-minded person, not only in Greene County, but anywhere. I mean that, Roger. Thank you. After much pleading, he and Rose even opened up the gym so we could have a fun-filled sleepover in 8th grade with the whole team. And we were a feisty group of girls and continue to be, I think. I have such fond memories of my high school sports experiences too, with Dave Hutchcroft, whom I was in touch with recently, coaching basketball, softball, and track. We won a lot, but also had tons of fun while doing it. And speaking of fun, Coach Teresa Green was on our side in volleyball, and we learned what being a team was all about and how to have a blast doing it. Thank you. Later in college, I was coached by two top-notch people who got the most out of their players, Denny Jerome at Waldorf University and Susan Bunton at Minnesota State, who also shaped me as a student athlete and as a person. I love writing today in part because two mentors who guided me provided so much support in high school. Our English teacher, Christy Bershman-Skoglund, and Barb Ball, who worked at the Bee and Herald. Many of you knew them. Christy taught me how to write compelling stories for the Quill, and Barb taught us how to build a student newspaper with countless hours volunteering with us at the paper office. She was also a big advocate for girls' sports, and they're both dear to me to this day. I have to thank Doug Reeder, whom I saw earlier but had to leave, who gave me a shot to help him out at KDLS Radio all through high school. I got to be the fill-in morning show host when he was off at the state wrestling tournament or other meetings, and that was the best experience I could have asked for. I still love radio, podcasts, and doing interviews because of that early opportunity. The third pillar I just want to mention is community, all of us. I'm so grateful to all the adults who raised me in addition to my mom. The McDermotts, the Olhausens, the Larsons, the Brevards, the McAtees, the Trosts, the Rennernecks, the Lanes, many, many more, and especially Avon Linduska, my mom's best friend. She was like a mom to me and Janet. This is just what people did when we were growing up. People would just step up and be our family, and I'm so grateful for that. I'm so thankful for people like Peg Waymeyer and Linda Cochran, early softball coaches and mentors who ignited my excitement for sports. And much later in high school, it was Jerry Wolf, our tried and true bus driver, who always gave us great advice I forwarded on to my own daughter, Georgia, who's here, when I coached her softball teams. Hit 'em where they ain't, Susie. That's what he would say. Remember that, guys? It's people like registered dietitian Pat Savek, my mentor at the Greene County Medical Center back in the summers of '87 and '88, who took me under her wing when I was in college so I could learn how to be a dietitian. Still a dear friend, Pat called us yesterday as we were on the way to Des Moines to congratulate me, and we had a wonderful talk. And that's dedication. I also remember the kindness of Catherine Jenko, who taught me how to cook for the patients, and all the staff who were so gracious to me to help me learn how to run a hospital kitchen. And as a teller at Jefferson State Bank, it was Holly Roberts and her staff who were so kind to me and taught me the business of being a teller. So as you can see, when you grow up in Jefferson, it's a whole lot of people who help you grow up and teach you. The fourth pillar is my dear friends and colleagues. Class of '84, let's hear it. We grew up with a great group of kids who knew how to have fun and work hard. Being a part of the class of 1984 helped me become who I am. And when I had the idea to write my recent book, Eat, Move, Groove, who gave me feedback and ideas every step of the way? It was many of you. Deanne, Julie, Chris, Tracy, Susan, Deb, Sue, just to name a few. Thank you guys so much. We hit the jackpot with our class of 1984. And throughout my career in sports and wellness, I've had the good fortune to find positive, encouraging colleagues like Vicki Tronchetti and Sherry Barnes from my cardiac rehab days at Mercy in Des Moines some 35 years ago when we started working together, who remain dear friends. On my Eat, Move, Groove team, I have former mentors from the University of Illinois, former students from Milwaukee, former colleagues from around the country, and even my dear Jefferson friend for the last 50 years and well-being advocate, Deanne McAtee. Thank you, Dee. I'm so grateful to be standing here and receive this award. We all know Jefferson is a very special place. It's the people who make it so. Growing up in Jefferson, I always felt I had one foot firmly grounded here, which has given me confidence and support. That helped me as I worked to blend my experiences and background with my passion and expertise to carve out a career that has been a lot of fun, that I think has made a difference in people's lives. To all of the amazing people whom I mentioned and many more who know who you are, thank you for helping me and the thousands of students through Greene County who find their way into the world because of all of you. This fall, my wife and I will be embarking on a year-long Eat, Move, Groove book tour around the country in our camper van, which is a dream come true. We'd love to make a stop wherever you are. So you can follow along at Eat, Move, Groove. You can find us. And our mission is to offer people around the country an invitation to wellness in a simple, doable, positive way for everyone. Please join me at 3 tomorrow at the Community Center or tonight. I'd love to see you. And again, thank you, everyone.